It was shaping up to be an exceptional day for Michael. As he drove to the office, every traffic light turned green, allowing him to breeze through the intersections effortlessly. Upon arriving at the towering skyscraper that housed his company's headquarters, he couldn't believe his luck. A prime parking spot lay vacant right in front of the main entrance. What are the odds? Michael chuckled to himself as he maneuvered his sedan into the coveted space. Once inside, he greeted the receptionist with a warm smile.
Good morning, Sarah.
Looks like it's going to be a great day. Sarah returned the gesture.
Indeed, Mr. Hawkins.
Oh, and congratulations on closing that big deal. Everyone's buzzing about it. Michael's grin widened. News travels fast around here, doesn't it? Thank you, Sarah. As he settled into his office, his assistant, Emily, knocked on the door.
Mr. Hawkins, Richard Kingsley is on line 2 for you.
Excellent. Put him through, Michael instructed, his heart rate quickening in anticipation. After exchanging pleasantries, Richard delivered the news Michael had been waiting for. I've given it some thought, and I've decided to move forward with the partnership. You can expect the signed contract shortly. That's fantastic news, Richard. Thank you for your trust in us. I look forward to a long and prosperous collaboration. True to his word, the fax machine hummed to life moments later, the contract materializing on the tray. Michael snatched up the documents, feeling a surge of pride and excitement. He wasted no time in heading to the corner office belonging to his boss, the company's esteemed CEO, Jessica Reynolds. With the signed contract in hand, Michael strode confidently towards Jessica's office, eager to share the good news. Her assistant, Laura, greeted him with a warm smile. Good morning, Michael. I'll let Mrs. Reynolds know you're here. A few moments later, Laura ushered him inside. She'll be with you in just a minute. Michael nodded, taking a seat across from Jessica's immaculate desk, adorned with framed photos of her family. As his eyes scanned the images, a pang of longing tugged at his heart. He and his wife, Emily, had been trying for a child of their own, but so far to no avail. The sound of the door opening jolted Michael back to the present. Michael, what a pleasant surprise, Jessica greeted, her warm smile instantly putting him at ease. Good morning, Jessica. I have some excellent news to share. He slid the contract across her desk. Richard Kingsley has agreed to the partnership. This deal is going to be huge for us. Jessica's eyes widened as she flipped through the pages. You've outdone yourself, Michael. Magnificent work, as always. She rose from her chair, extending her hand. Let's celebrate your success over lunch, my treat. Michael graciously accepted the handshake. Thank you, but that won't be necessary. Just seeing you happy is enough for me. As the afternoon wore on, Michael found himself constantly replaying the morning's triumph. He couldn't wait to share the news with Emily when he got home. Perhaps her excitement would rub off, and this pivotal win might finally be the catalyst for starting the family they'd been dreaming of. With a renewed spring in his step, Michael departed the office early, surprising bouquet of Emily's favorite flowers in tow. However, as he pulled into the driveway of their cozy suburban home, a familiar car caught his eye. Emily's boss, Jack's sedan. Odd, Michael muttered under his breath. I thought Emily mentioned he was out of town this week. He brushed it off as a mere miscommunication and bounded up the porch steps, key in hand. But the moment he opened the front door, a sound shattered his cheerful mood into oblivion. The rhythmic creaking of their bedroom box spring. Michael's heart plummeted into his stomach as a guttural groan resonated through the hall. Jack's unmistakable voice. Michael felt the blood drain from his face as the implications of the noises he heard became devastatingly clear. His grip tightened around the bouquet's stems as he crept down the hallway, each step requiring a monumental effort. As he approached the bedroom door, Jack's grunts grew louder, punctuated by Emily's breathy whimpers. Michael's hand trembled as he reached for the doorknob, twisting it slowly to avoid making a sound. The door swung open to reveal a scene that would be seared into Michael's memory forever. There, on the bed they once shared, Emily lay tangled in the sheets, her naked form intertwined with Jack's. They were so consumed by their tryst that they failed to notice the intrusion. A maelstrom of emotions, rage, betrayal, heartbreak, roiled within Michael as he watched the sordid display unfold before his eyes. In that moment, he knew their marriage, the life they had built together, lay in ruins. Transfixed by the horrific sight, Michael's grip on the bouquet went slack, and the flowers scattered across the hardwood floor with a soft rustle. Emily's eyes shot open, instantly locking with his, her expression contorting into one of abject terror. Michael, she gasped, frantically attempting to cover herself with the bedsheets. Jack, too, had frozen in place, his own eyes widening in shock and fear as he registered Michael's presence. The tension hung thick in the air, suffocating, until finally Michael regained his voice. "How could you?" he choked out, his words laced with a venomous blend of anguish and fury. "After everything we've been through? After all the sacrifices?" Emily opened her mouth to respond, but no words came. Tears streamed down her flushed cheeks as she averted her gaze, overwhelmed by guilt and shame. Jack, however, found his voice. "Michael, I'm so sorry, man. This wasn't supposed to happen. It just..." His feeble attempt at an excuse trailed off, drowned out by a mirthless bark of laughter that erupted from Michael's lips. With a clarity that could only come from having one's world irrevocably shattered, Michael stated with grim finality, "We're done." He turned on his heel and stormed out, the image of his wife's infidelity forever burned into his psyche. In the days following the gut-wrenching discovery, Michael found himself adrift in a sea of anguish and disillusionment. The life he had so carefully constructed lay in tatters around him, the very foundation upon which he had built his dreams eroded by Emily's betrayal. He had resigned himself to the reality that their marriage was irreparably damaged, yet the formal process of divorce still loomed large, an ominous specter casting its pall over an already bleak future. With a heavy heart, Michael decided to seek counsel from an unlikely source, Jack's boss at the advertising firm where they both worked. "David, I need to speak with you about a rather delicate matter," Michael said, his voice strained as he ushered the imposing executive into his office and closed the door. David regarded him with a furrowed brow, clearly perplexed by the somber tone. "Of course, Michael. What's on your mind?" Steeling himself, Michael retrieved his phone and thumbed through the photos he had taken, the visceral evidence of Emily and Jack's transgressions. "I'm afraid this involves 2 of your employees." He handed the device to David, who visibly paled as the incriminating images flickered across the screen. "Good God," he murmured, averting his gaze from the lurid photos. "When did this happen?" "Just a few nights ago," Michael replied flatly. "In my own home." David's jaw clenched, his eyes hardening with a mixture of anger and disappointment. "This is utterly unacceptable behavior. Rest assured they will be dealt with accordingly." True to his word, David wasted no time in summoning Jack and Emily to his office. The confrontation was brief but intense, culminating in their immediate termination. As they departed, ashen-faced and laden with personal effects hastily scooped into boxes, Emily lifted her gaze to meet Michael's, her eyes glistening with unshed tears and a silent plea for forgiveness. But Michael's heart had calcified, rendered impervious to her mute entreaties. He watched impassively as she and Jack made their exit, the door closing behind them with a dull finality. In the ensuing silence, David cleared his throat. "I truly am sorry, Michael. This is an unconscionable situation." He paused, weighing his next words carefully. "That said, I feel compelled to mention that your talents have long been wasted here. My rivals would leap at the opportunity to have someone of your caliber on their team." Michael arched an inquisitive eyebrow, his interest piqued despite the emotional turmoil still coursing through his veins. A faint smile played across David's lips. "Why don't you take some time, handle your personal affairs, and then we'll discuss your future over a round of golf. I may have an intriguing proposition for you." With a lingering nod, David rose and made his exit, leaving Michael alone with his swirling thoughts. Though the ashes of his former life remained scattered at his feet, a solitary mote of hope now flickered dimly on the horizon, the promise of an unexpected new beginning.